Hi, I'm Steve Harrison, and my company has helped launch such best-selling books as Chicken Soup for the Soul and Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And we've helped over 12,000 authors get their message out. And with me is my Quantum Leap member, Tonya Ware. Tonya, welcome.
Thank you. It's so good to be here with you.
Oh, it's great to be here with you. And boy, you have such a compelling story and really a purpose behind what you're doing. Why don't you share a little bit about your story and why you're doing the work you do today?
Well, I guess I would say I'm like every other woman or person in this world that wants to become something great. And growing up in a family where there was a strong focus placed on education and placed on work ethic and being productive in this society, I just, I don't know, I'd left home feeling like the world was my oyster.
Wow.
And I was so excited to be able to have an opportunity to really just become whatever I wanted. I really believed that. And so I put all of my heart and soul in everything that I was doing. I started singing when I was 6 years old. And after I got older, I realized that I had a real strong passion for finance and for investments and helping people save. So I entered a job after college, working with a Fortune 500 company and just helping people save and invest. And I did that 14, 15, 16 hours a day. And then I spent my weekends and evenings singing my heart out.
Wow.
And I did that for many, many years. But then I came home one day, starting to feel really, really tired. And I thought I was just a little overworked. And I woke up the next morning getting ready to go to work again. And I fell dead in my bathroom. And before I died, I was a multi-million-dollar producer for my company, the top producer for the state of Mississippi. And when I woke up that morning to go to work, I was just expecting it to be like any other day. But before I could get dressed, I passed out unconscious in my bathroom. And from the reports, I was dead nearly 5 minutes, no breathing, no pulse, no heartbeat. And when I was miraculously revived, I remember looking in the face of the paramedics and at my husband, who was still praying for me, and thinking, what happened? And that started a series of medical tests and appointments with doctors and flying back and forth to the Mayo Clinic. And I went from being an active producer, singer, just recorded an album, to being in my house, shut in, basically for 6 years.
Wow.
I went out a couple of times a week for the doctor's appointments I had and to go to church. No one knew the pain I was going through. And I thought my life was over. I felt like that this can't be happening to me. And I want to speak to that person out there who had a plan that they thought was perfect for their lives. And they had done all the right things and maybe some of the wrong things. Maybe they had worked extra hard and had done everything that they could do, but it seemed like there was some type of circumstance in life that took it away from them. I went from being known around the world. My music at the time was being heard in every place you can imagine. Fans in Japan, all over the world. But what no one knew was that I was literally in my bed every day, so weak and so sick, and just hoping that some kind of way I could reclaim my life. And so the book I wrote, Life is Your Song, Discover Your Voice, is about helping people realize that regardless of what the challenge may be and how difficult the circumstance may be, there is some way that you can move your life forward every single day. And so that's what my book teaches, and that's what it talks about.
Wow, what a powerful universal message that you can, no matter where you are, no matter what life brings you, you can still keep moving forward. So here you were, sick now, battling for your health, And what did you find? How, you know, you went from being out there and seeing all kinds of success in business and in music, and as you say, being a shut-in for 6 years. What did you do? What did you learn from that experience that others could benefit from?
I think the first thing I learned was that I am not what I do. Um, so often, women especially, and I guess this would be everyone, all over this world, because I see it with my husband and with people that I know. But so often, we as people, we we place we allow everything that we consider to be valuable about us. We only feel value if we have things and can do things. And so I really didn't know this about myself until I got sick. I'd seen the world. I had done so many wonderful things, and I was left with nothing but myself and a very fragile self. And I found out that I didn't really know me. That even though I was doing a lot of really great things, that my life had a much higher calling. That I had allowed the world and people and circumstances to label me and give me a value. But the real me, which is the spirit, the inside, was who I really was. And it made me really, really start to dig deep and think about, why I was on this earth. And if I were not sick, what would I do? What kind of things would I do? I actually, I stayed in a funk for many, many years. I just got up every day living in the cloud and didn't know how to get out of the cloud. And my days were just filled with meditation of a fear of the future, because I really thought at any day I was going to die. And because of that fear, I stopped living, and I lost my way. I lost my voice. I lost my path. I lost my purpose. I lost my passion. And what I realized, I was actually watching a interview with Oprah Winfrey and LL Cool J, and he said something that really jarred me or leaped in my heart in the moment. He said, "Dreams don't have deadlines." And I don't know. I remember reaching for my cell phone at the time, my iPhone, and I recorded it in my iPhone. And I thought, well, if dreams don't have deadlines, I can do something, even though I can't change my doctor's statements and my diagnosis. I don't have the power to change that. But what I can do is get back to being who I really am, my fun, happy, loving, bold, fierce, powerful self. I can find one way every day to be me. And so that's what I did. That's what I did.
Wow. And this is something you're helping people do now in your upcoming book. And I love the title, that Life is Your Song, Discover Your Voice. And one of the things I know you've said it's really about is helping people to reset their inner compass. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think a lot of times that instead of us living life, life happens to us. And because of the pain or the trauma or the stress or the fear, from a child that's being bullied in the third grade, to a husband that's concerned about how he'll take care of his family, to a wife who is battling with breast cancer, all of us are somehow marked by the experiences that we have. And what I started to see through my journey was that life is a lot like sheet music, and we can decide what rhythm we want to have.
Wow.
And we can decide if we want texture or highs or lows or movement, if we want a crescendo, if we want a certain type of tone to our lives. And a lot of it has to do with resetting the person within, the real you. Each of us are three parts. We're body, soul, and spirit. And there's something about the body that is affected by sickness and disease, the change of the weather or an accident. There's something about the soul, your mind, will, and emotions, your intellect, your imagination that is formed and shaped by the things that you experience. But the real you is the spirit inside, which is why I died that day. I felt my spirit leave my body, and I could hear my husband praying for me in the distance. And um, without a spirit, we just have an earth suit. And I want people to know that regardless of how difficult their present day may be, there is hope beyond that pain. And the book talks about, there are 10 ways that I give in the book that you can reset your inner compass. And one of those ways is to create, to sit down and think about what you want your life to be and begin to put images before your vision, before your eyes, that are the life that you want to be. I remember at my lowest point finding pictures of me at my healthiest and meditating on those images, because we do move toward our most dominant thought. And so it's really amazing when you feel lost. Then it's time for you to reboot. One of the ways in the book is to reboot, and you just simply step back, look at where you are, look at where you want to be, spend some time quieting your spirit, quieting your mind, and then making a decision about where you want to go from there. And a lot of times all you can do, like me, if you've been in a situation anywhere similar to mine, all you can do is make a baby step. Sometimes it's just one call, or it's just one act of kindness, or it's just reading one page of one book, or writing one page of one book. But life is a song. We get to determine what the lyrics will be.
You have these ups and downs, and you get to determine, you get to write the song, right? You get to write the rhythm. And I love that artist metaphor, that we can be inspired and our spirit can be touched, but then we create using our gifts. And as people do that in writing music, I love how you're saying really people can be so hands-on, they've got choice on how to create their life and what the rhythm is. And talk to me a little bit about, I know you teach a principle about reestablishing your identity, and talk to me a little bit about that.
I realized through my journey that I had put my identity just in my singing voice, and I was so much more than that. I'm a mom. I'm an executive pastor. I sing not just gospel music, but jazz. And I'm a coach. I'm a speaker, a teacher, a mentor. There were so many facets of my life that I had never explored, because I, like so many people, had done just what was comfortable for me. And when that comfortable thing was taken away, I felt lost. And so when I got to the point where I was really too sick, now what was so painful for me to deal with, I had an album that was being heard all over the world, that was winning all kinds of awards, but I did not have the physical strength to tour. So people were calling for me, but I couldn't go because I was so sick. And I became extremely depressed because I thought my worth was in me being able to sing those songs. But I learned that that was just one, actually very, very small part of who I am as a human being. And in rediscovering my identity, I had to get back to all the parts of me that are the good parts of me, and really, really learn who I was. And I found out so much about myself. And it took me out of the box that I was living in. I didn't realize it, but I was really living in a prison, being just one-dimensional. And I had so many different things that I could do, and so many ways that I could give back, so many ways that I could touch people's lives, and so many things that I could do to make people better. And so now I'm living a more holistic life because I'm living all the parts of me.
Wow,
yeah.
That's great. That's great. And obviously the title, Life is Your Song, Discover Your Voice. Most people who are watching this video or reading the book probably aren't singers. They may not have, they may feel they've got their voice, whether people want to hear it or not. But what do you mean by that? To discover your voice.
It's discovering your inner voice. I think a lot of times because we are born for purpose, and we are born to do great things. How big or small your sphere of influence may be, you're born for something great. And I think a lot of times we allow people, bad relationships, broken hearts, disappointments, pain, suffering, the ills that we experience, the life that we see, to almost cover our mouth like a hostage and keep us from living the life that we should by living from the inside out. And really, the real truth, Steve, is that that day, my physical body died, but through my lack of understanding of who I really was, the real me, the spirit on the inside died. And it's bad to die, yeah, but it's really bad to live and exist and not really be living your true self, your authentic true self. And so when I say life is a song, I want people to realize that if you can't carry a tune and you don't sing and you don't, you're not a part of a band, the things that you do on a daily basis write your life's song.
Yeah.
And your life song is made up of actions, decisions, sometimes mistakes, sometimes regrets. You listen to even your best songs. There are low parts, high parts, texture, tone, movement. There are different facets to every song, and there are different facets to every life. And in life, we will have all of these different things that will happen to us, things in our childhood that happened to us that we had no control over, things that happened when we got married, things that happened when we lost a loved one to death. There are things that happen to us that write our song. And what I'm hoping I can do is help people to stop living the life that people expect of them, but live the life that they were called to live, and to speak from the inside out, to let their inner voice reign again, sing again, speak again, to love their life, to own their life, to discover all the parts of who they are, and to make life really great.
Wow. Well, congratulations. This is tremendous, and I could see this message really making a profound difference in people's lives. The book is Life is Your Song, Discover Your Voice, Tonya Ware. Thanks for joining me.